Hey everyone, today I want to talk to you about the latest news from Wizards of the Coast about the open game license. This latest announcement is definitely a victory for the community. The community has spoken and the giant has backed down. Let's take a few minutes to talk about this outcome and the likely bad news for the future. First of all, System Reference Document 5.1 has now been published under the Creative Commons license in its entirety. No caveats, no exclusions, no exceptions, no ambiguity. It is out there and it cannot be taken back. Because Wizards has destroyed my trust, I did a comparison of the current system reference document and what they just released under the Creative Commons, and I can confirm that they did not pull a fast one. The content of the document is exactly the same as what was out there before. Adobe did find a few changes in the formatting, but the content itself is identical. Secondly, Open Game License 1.0a is also staying put. Content creators will have the option to publish using either license that they desire. The fact that they went both ways with this shows they had backed themselves into a corner. They hoped that by releasing the system reference document under the Creative Commons license, it would calm everybody down and people would not care so much about them revoking the Open Game License 1.0a. But the community still pushed that revoking the Open Game License 1.0a was the wrong move and the wrong message. And Wizards realized that they had no positive step forward. The only option left for them was to simply stop. They couldn't take back the release under the Creative Commons license because that would just cause a whole new firestorm. And they couldn't keep pushing to revoke the 1.0a license because clearly they would never win that fight. So they had to keep both. And so now we have the same system reference document released under two different licenses. And that's perfectly fine with me. It is another win for the community, and that's great. The other good news from this is they indicate that the voices were united against their virtual tabletop policy, specifically the part about magical effects, which was absolutely ridiculous. They indicate that because of the Creative Commons release, the virtual tabletop policy is no longer needed. I'm not exactly sure how those two things are linked together, but if they're backing down, then I will take it. I am still concerned, though, that this is one that's going to resurface in the future. So where does this leave us? As I said, System Reference Document 5.1 is out there. It will always be out there. That cannot be undone. It is truly perpetual and irrevocable, and people can make content using that forever. The attribution required is significantly smaller than what was required with the Open Game License 1.0a. However, this is where we get into some of the bad news. This System Reference Document is for D&D 5th edition. If D&D 6th edition is released and it's not as compatible with 5th edition as they first indicated, then they are under no obligation to create a system reference document for 6th edition. That is their choice, and after this experience, I would expect them to be much more restrictive of new content in the future. I think we've seen the last of open licenses and system reference documents from Wizard. They want to control their content, and they will try to keep it all locked down in the future. But remember, they tried that with 4th edition and it did not go their way. So we'll see what happens here. Because remember, corporations are notorious for not learning from their mistakes. And let's never forget that they showed their true colors. They are not coming down on the side of the community. All they did was recognize that they had a public relations nightmare on their hands, and there was simply no way forward that was desirable for them. The best they could do was to stop talking about it and hope it all goes away. And that's where we are. The stuff that they released under the Creative Commons license is mostly stuff that it was probably going to be hard for them to claim copyright ownership of anyway. So make no mistake, we will be here again. We know what their goals are, we know what their desires are, and they will try again. I'm very glad that Wizards made the right decision for now, but I encourage everyone to look at the big picture and not forget that this will come up again. Let me know your thoughts on the announcement and what this means to you. Does it change any of your thoughts about Wizards or D&D? Does it change your approach to anything? Love to hear everything you have to say down in the comments. Until next time, take care.